Welcome in. If this is your first time looking at Harbor, the good news is you don't have to learn everything at once, and you don't have to learn candlestick patterns at all. Harbor is built around a simple idea. A normal household should be able to look at one screen once or twice a day and understand the market the way a captain understands the sea. You don't stare at every drop of water. You look at the weather. Start at the front door. Begin at the very top, where you see Lime Market today and today's harbor behavior. Treat this like your daily sea report. Read it slowly. If it tells you not to chase spikes, to prefer pullbacks, to trim into strength, or to stand aside when time and focus are not clear, that is Harbor setting your behavior before you get pulled into noise. The goal is simple. See conditions clearly, protect the account, and stay ready to come back tomorrow. This is not about being clever. It is about staying alive and useful. 7-color weather instead of candles. As you work with Harbor, you'll notice something important. We don't ask you to read detailed candlesticks. You don't see long lists of candle names or pattern diagrams. Instead, Harbor uses a 7-color weather system and a few clear states. Each color family represents a different sea state: calm or working water, healthy uptide, choppy rotation, stressed or dangerous conditions, and so on. The Lime engine is watching the behavior inside the candles, how price moves, where it pauses, where it rejects, but it translates that into colors, alerts, and posture you can actually use. The theory is straightforward. Most households do not have the time, energy, or desire to memorize dozens of candlestick patterns. Even for professionals, single candlestick patterns are noisy and often overrated on their own. What really matters is behavior over waves. Is the tape advancing, tiring, rotating, or breaking? The engine can see that through price behavior and then say it in plain English and color. So Harbor is saying, let the machine stare at every candle. You just read the weather and the guidance. Today's pattern in plain English. After today's Harbor behavior, move to today's pattern in plain English. This is where Harbor tells you what the recent wave has actually been doing. If trims and exits have clustered, it may say, the wave is tiring, respect it, and lighten up. If a fresh buy fires after a series of trims, it might say, work inside the band, not all in. You don't have to interpret each bar. The system has already watched the pattern and is handing you the story in 1 or 2 sentences. Working posture, the rest of today. Next, read working posture, the rest of today. This section takes the pattern and turns it into posture. How big, how fast, and how selective you should be for the rest of the session. If it says trade light to normal so both account and nerves can return tomorrow, that's not just advice, that's your throttle setting. If it says to prefer symbols moving with the main market direction, and to go smaller or simply watch in mixed conditions, it's telling you how to stay out of fights you don't need to be in. You will also see reminders about your risk band, like a 2% daily loss limit, and what to do if you keep ending up outside it. Those lines are there to protect you from the most common human mistakes: hurrying, tilting, and trying to fix things by pushing harder. Symbols, size, and pace. Just below that, you'll see symbols, size, and pace. Think of this as the practical tuning section. Bias, size, and rhythm all live here. You might read something like, bias is cautiously long only when signals and posture agree. Neutral and capital protective is fully acceptable. Or, this is a working tape, not a swing for the fences tape. Those phrases help you accept that not pressing is a valid choice. Harbor is giving you permission to walk light, especially during conflict, policy noise, or energy shock. Current alerts, evidence, not orders. From there, move down into current alerts. Alerts are messages, not orders. They are records of recent BUY, trim, exit activity across different time frames daily, 6-hour, 3-hour. Use them as evidence for the story you just read. A cluster of exits and trims in leveraged products supports a cautious posture. A fresh sequence of buys across multiple time frames can support a more active, but still disciplined, posture. Mixed signals in different corners of the market can confirm that conditions are choppy and rotational. You are not required to act on any individual alert. You are invited to see what the engine sees and make calm decisions from there. Index strength and sector weather. Next, scroll into index strength. Here, Harbor tells you what the big ships, the S&P 500, the Dow, the Nasdaq have been doing. Maybe they've bounced off stress lows. Maybe they're grinding higher in a prove-it uptrend. Or maybe they're stuck in repair. The key idea, a bounce inside a healing process is not the same as a carefree bull run. Harbor will say that directly so you don't mistake repair for blue sky weather. Right after that comes where strength and weakness showed up. This is your sector and theme weather report. You might see notes like strength and energy and hard asset names, tech bouncing, but leadership less trusted, industrials and rotation groups working, but entries need discipline. Together, index strength and sector weather help you narrow down where to look for workboats that fit today's sea, instead of treating every symbol as equal. What this meant for Lime Hunters. Then you'll see what this meant for Lime Hunters. This section answers the question, what kind of behavior was rewarded in this tape? You might read things like, best results came from small size, quick trims, and honoring exits. Chasing late breakouts in weak or extended areas remained lower quality behavior. This is Harbor handing you a daily lesson, grounded in what actually worked, not in theories. Over time, these lines help you internalize better trading habits. Today's action coaching, your one calm sentence. Finally, at the end of the daily section, you come to today's action coaching. This is your one sentence takeaway for the day, a calm summary of both the weather and how to behave in it. For example, Harbor Open is still rotation choppy, selective lifts, with money leaning toward energy and hard asset themes more than a full confidence growth chase. This is a working zone, not a blind chasing zone. If you walk away with nothing else, walk away with this one sentence in your head. It should be simple enough to remember and honest enough to keep you from stretching beyond your conditions. The slower frame, week and 2-0, day view. Once you've read the daily section, you've already gotten what most households need each morning. If you want more perspective, move down into the slower, frame-setting parts of Harbor. Start with market state for the week. This tells you whether the general backdrop leans corrective, trending, rotational, or something in between. Then read the 2-0, day view, bigger swing, and mood. This section steps back and asks, what kind of 2 to 4 week C are we in? Are we repairing? Proving an uptrend? Grinding sideways under headlines? These sections are there to keep one noisy day from hijacking your entire mood. Alerts, rings, and how pilots use Harbor. Further down, Harbor explains alerts, timeframes, and how pilots use the system. You'll see the roles of 1 day, the tide, 6, hour and 3, hour, work waves and state awareness, 1 hour, timing inside a tide, for active pilots. The pattern is the same. The engine does the mechanical watching. Harbor expresses it in sentences and rings that households can live with. Again, you do not need to interpret every candle to use this. The whole purpose of the rings and states is to let you live at the what is the tide, what is my posture, how big should I be level. Doctrine, checklists, and workboats. As you move through the bottom half, you'll find a daily checklist for staying sane, guidance on trailing stops sized to different types of names, examples for 5K and 25K accounts, clarity on flagships versus workboats, simple guardrails for options, and a reminder that futures are not a Lime strategy. All of this is there so you can turn Harbor from a picture into a way of working. Flagships, calm, diversified core holdings. Workboats, small, tactical, controlled risk positions in leveraged ETFs, jumpy names, or options. No single aggressive position should decide the fate of your entire account. Summing it up. So how do you use Harbor? Start at the top. Read today's Harbor behavior, today's pattern, and working posture. Glance through current alerts, index strength, and sector weather to see what the engine has been doing and where the sea is moving. Let what this meant for Lyme hunters and today's action coaching give you your one calm sentence for the day. When you want more perspective, drop into the weekly and 20-day views. When you want to refine your craft, spend time with the checklists, account examples, workboat doctrine, and alert explanations. And underneath it all, remember the core promise. You do not need to become a candlestick expert to use Harbor. The engine already watches every bar. Your job is to read the weather, respect the risk, pick sane sizes, and let small, repeatable decisions add up over time. That is what Harbor is here to help you do.